Okay, hello all. Good evening. So before we start with the next day, so let us start with the recap of what we have learned yesterday. So in the yesterday session, we have understood what is pega decisioning, which is nothing but identify. So this is nothing but the logic to identify the next best action. Pega marketing is the logic. So it's like a communication to deliver the next best action using the pega channels. So we have certain channels using which the next best action will be delivered to the customer. So deliver the next best action to the customer. So in the pega marketing, we have two types again: inbound marketing and outbound marketing. So these are the two types which are present under pega marketing. Inbound marketing is the customer contacting the business. The customer contacting the business is called as inbound marketing. Now the business contacting the customer. So for example, business contacting the customer, that is nothing but outbound marketing, right? So the customer is not contacting the business. Business is only contacting the customer. That is called as outbound marketing. And we have inbound marketing. In inbound marketing, we have some channels like retail, website, mobile app, contact center. Okay, same way here we have email, SMS, and we also have push notifications and contact center. Okay, so that's what we have seen. And what else? So we have seen the portals that we will be working on. So we have certain portals like CDH portal, which is the main portal, customer decision hub, and we have the prediction studio. So we have the prediction studio. So just a minute, please. Okay. So we have the prediction studio here, and then we have the uh, NBA advisor. Okay, so we have the NBA advisor, and finally we have the uh, operations manager. So these are the ones which we have seen, the portals that are available. And now how do we get started? The requirements is you have to be Pega CSA certified or Pega CSA knowledge should be there. Okay, Pega CSA certified or Pega CSA knowledge should be there. How do we practice? So we have a academy link. So we have an academy link where you can practice. So I have shared the link. So please bookmark it and log in. So today I will show you how to log in and how to work with the academy link as well. So now let us get started and let us learn the today's topics. So I hope that whatever we discussed yesterday is completely clear and everyone is understood on that. Before we get started with application creation, let us start with the environment preparation. That means before you actually create a new application, we have to make sure the environment that you are working is already set up and it is ready for Pega decisioning implementation, right? So you have to make sure that it is ready and ready for the implementation. So as part of this, we will be learning the introduction to decisioning services, node classification, debugging the services, monitoring, and also prerequisite data. So creating the Pega customer decision hub application is also same as how you create a traditional BPM application. But the only thing is there are certain services which needs to be enabled in order to make sure the Pega decisioning implementation will work without any errors. So there are certain services which we need to know and they need to be enabled in order to make sure that there are no errors and no issues. So let us see what are those services. So, so starting with the first one, that is called Adaptive Decision Manager. So the first service that needs to be enabled on the nodes is called ADM. ADM stands for Adaptive Decision Manager. So Adaptive Decision Manager is a service that will enable and make sure the adaptive models and predictive models are working fine without any issues. Okay, this service is responsible for your adaptive models and predictive models. So these models we will be seeing it in a later stage, but for those models to work, this service is mandatory. It has to be enabled. Okay, so how to enable this, how to see whether it is enabled or not, we will be checking it now. Okay, so that is the first one, Adaptive Decision Manager, that is ADM service. Second, we have decision data store. So in pega decisioning applications, we have a separate database that is called Cassandra database. Okay, see in pega we use Oracle database and Postgres SQL database. So PGGRES, right? PostgreSQL database, Oracle database you might be using in your application. But in pega decisioning, we also need a separate database that is called Cassandra database. Okay, so that is called Cassandra database. So why this Cassandra database is needed, we will be understanding it shortly. But there is a significant purpose of Cassandra database. Now, in order for the Cassandra database to work properly, that means you need to insert the records into the Cassandra database. You need to retrieve the records from the Cassandra database. To make that happen smoothly, you need to have decision data store service enabled. Okay, so the first one, Adaptive Decision Manager, is for adaptive models and predictive models. Decision data store is for Cassandra database. The third service that we have is stream service. So stream service and RTDG, real time, all these are used for real time operations. So there are some scenarios where you will be getting real time data from the website, mobile applications, etc. For example, some customer has recently logged into the mobile application and he has changed his status from single to married. He has changed his status from single to married. Immediately, this information will be captured from mobile application to the Pega, so that Pega can provide some offers related to his marital status, something like a family insurance or some couple insurance offers. Okay, some customer has recently modified his medical status as affected with some cancer or affected with some COVID-19. So let us say customer has modified his medical status that he is affected with cancer. Now this information will be passing from the mobile application to the Pega, and Pega can actually provide some offers related to cancer. So when I say offers, it can be some service, you can say, like for example some free checkup or some free medication for that particular customer. Okay, it can be an opportunity, it can be a service which will always help the customer so that the customers are happy. So this kind of real-time information can be managed using these three services, that is a stream service, RTDG and real-time. So these three services will make sure this real-time operations will happen without any issues. And the last one, background processing, that you already know. So the remaining ones are ADM, DDS, stream, RTDG, and real time. First one is for your models, adaptive model, predictive model work. Second one is for the Cassandra database. Third one, fourth one, fifth one are for real-time operations. Like I told, some data needs to be captured and processed in real time. This service will help for that. Okay, clear on these services? So we'll see in detail in the coming sessions. But understood or not? Any questions still here? No questions from anyone? Yes. So no one has any questions?
So Ravi, how about background processing?
Yeah, the background processing is for the background nodes actually. So this is for you know, right, like for queue processors, job schedulers, for all those things to work, the background processing is needed.
Okay, so
Hope.
in decisioning, we are going to use the schedulers.
Yeah, we will be using.
Oh, okay.
Hmm. So we have the same things that we have in Pega, like job schedulers, queue processors. All these things we'll be using.
Okay, okay.
Decision data grid and the real-time data grid is nothing but a database.
The second one you're asking?
Yes, second and fourth, like what is the difference?
No, see, second one is used for Cassandra database. Cassandra database is a separate database that we will use for Pega decisioning. For that purpose, we will have DDS, that is a decision data store. Okay. Third one, fourth one, fifth one are for real-time operations. When I say real-time, that's a separate process are there, which we will come to know. Okay. So this second one is for database related operations. Which database? Cassandra database.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So we'll come to what is that, how to do that. We'll see that.
Ravi,
So
quick
in order
question.
to
So,
integrate, so in order to interact with the Cassandra database, like this service is called.
Yes, this service is needed to do that. Okay. See, this service will help you to interact with Cassandra database, like inserting, deleting, all those things.
So this is also similar to the REST service or the SOAP
No, no,
service
no. This is a different thing. Not a. See,
integration.
it's not like a Pega rule type. This is a background service that will run in the backend. Okay,
Oh,
which is like a connection between Pega and Cassandra database. Okay,
got it. Okay.
yeah, yeah. So someone is also having a question. Please go ahead.
yeah, Ravi, this is Prasad. So, Pega CDH will not support Oracle or Postgres, only Cassandra.
No, no. This is an additional database that we need for some special purpose. That is also supported. Okay. See, we will be using those and also this additionally. Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Okay. So let us proceed with the next thing. See, before we understand how to classify these nodes, just we have a basic definition here. What is a node and what is a cluster? See, a node is nothing but where a server is installed. So each node can have one PRPC instance. A business can purchase multiple nodes. Each node will have one server. So multiple servers can be connected together in the form of cluster. A cluster is group of related nodes interconnected together. Okay, so load balancer is something that will balance the load so that multiple servers will have significant performance and the traffic can be routed to another node uh, using the load balancer. Whenever you have multiple servers or multiple nodes connected together in a single cluster, then the balance can be distributed among these multiple nodes using the load balancer. Okay, so now let us see this node classification.
Sir,
Now,
sir, could you please once again go to the difference and say what is basically node?
yeah, see, node is nothing but a instance where your Pega PRPC. It's like a server. A node is nothing but a server where you have installed your Pega PRPC in the server. using Tomcat or IBM WebSphere. So there are some web frameworks are there using which you will install the pega-PRP's instance. It's nothing but a server actually. It's nothing but a server. The more the number of nodes that you have, the more the performance can be, because the load can be distributed among the multiple nodes and the traffic can be easily converted into the visitors, right? So if you are having more nodes, more servers, then you will have more performance, and these servers will be connected together so that they can communicate in the backend and they will form a cluster. For example, you are working in production. In production, there might be more than one server, right? There might be more than one server. So you will have like three servers connected together or five servers connected together, so that first 500 people or 1000 people will come to node 1, second people will come to node 2. Like that, the load balancer will distribute the traffic, and also the data, whatever the data is there, it can also be distributed. So it is mainly for managing your pega PRPC instance in the server side. So it's nothing but a server actually. Okay.
So is there any like maximum number of node that uh, can be there in the Pega PRPC?
Yeah, there is some recommendation will be there in pega, like maybe five servers or seven servers. Nothing like maximum. If you increase, it will be good, but there is no usage. More than five or more than seven, even if you have also, it's not required. Okay. Pega cloud team will actually manage the servers. If you are actually going for pega cloud, they will only manage the uh, node classification and the cluster management, like how many servers are needed for this particular application, based on your traffic. Like you are having monthly 1 million visitors. For 1 million visitors, how many servers are needed? It will only create and it will only manage the load also. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, just an introduction. It's not a pega decision topic, but just an introduction. Okay, understood.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now let us go into the node classification. So now that we understood what is node, a node is nothing but a server. So let us say if you are having five nodes, that means there are five servers, and in each server you can install a Pega PRPC instance where your Pega will be running. Now, for this node, you can classify which all services should be running on node 1. Let us say you have three nodes. In three nodes, in node 1, what services should be running? In node 2, what services should be running? In node 3, what services should be running? This procedure is called as node classification. Okay, this procedure is called as node classification. So you will decide, for example, node 1 should be used by web users, people who visit the website. They should be using node 1. Node 2 should be used by background nodes. Like that, you have to do node classification. So now how do we do this node classification? We will be seeing it. Okay, so let us see that. So ideally, in personal edition, you can do that. If you have the personal edition, you can open the personal edition and you can do it yourself, whatever we see. See, this is completely a design topic. Okay, mainly you will not be doing it. Your lead system architect will be doing it. Okay, but let us understand for learning purpose. So what I will do, I will go to the application here. So let me go to the, yeah. So let me launch the Pega. So I have launched the Pega, and after I launch the Pega, I go to the application instance, go to the Pega Infinity, then I will log into the application. So the login credentials are given here. Select this, give the password, and login. Okay. See, this is how you access the Pega Customer Decision Hub. So once you access the Customer Decision Hub, you need to go to the Intelligence and Prediction Studio. Okay, so you need to go to the Intelligence Prediction Studio. So then you can switch from here. Click on the Prediction Studio and go to Admin Studio. So in the Admin Studio, you can see the nodes that are there. So let us go to the Admin Studio.
So Ravi, in the real time, will the decisioning consultant have access to Admin Studio?
Yes, yes, you will have access. You will have
Okay.
access. Yeah. So you will have access to Admin Studio, Dev Studio, all the studios that you have. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. But the thing is, this node classification will be done by your lead system architect, not by you. Okay.
Got
So once you go to the Admin Studio, you will go to the nodes. This is where you can see how many nodes are there. For example, I have only one node. That means there is only one server. Okay, there is only one server. If you are having more than one server, you will have more than one node. So right now there is only one server connected, and in this node, all these services are running. So you can see search, web user, Bix, background processing, ADM, RTDG, real time, all these things. Okay, so like this, you have to classify which node should have which services running, so that the node will be used for that particular purpose. For example, background nodes will use only this background processing service. Okay. Now, how do we classify? So, in order to classify the node, there are two options. First option is universal classification. Second option is manual classification. In the universal classification, so what you need to do first of all to classify. See, in the backend, wherever you are installing the Pega, you will have your folders, right? See, you can do this in the personal edition today. So what you have to do is go to the folder where the personal edition is installed, then go to the Tomcat, then bin folder, then go to the setenv.bat file. Just you need to go to this folder, open the Tomcat. Inside Tomcat, bin folder will be there. Inside bin folder, open this file, setenv.bat. Right click, open with Notepad. When you open with Notepad, you will see this particular line like this, -denote type. So what you need to do is, just you need to set -denote type equal to comma separated service names. For example, you see all these are Pega inbuilt services. Just you need to give the name of the service, that's it. So what I have done denote type equal to web user comma search comma stream comma ADM comma DDS comma RTDG, and you need to give comma real time. Like this you have to give. Okay. That's it. That's what you have to do. Not a big change. You can try this in the personal edition, but in real time it will be done in the server side. Okay, by your Pega administrator or by Pega LSA, they will be doing it. Okay. So then you have to do like this. Then you have to save the file and restart the server. That's it. For in your personal edition, what you have to do, just do these changes, save the file and shut down the Pega server and again start the Pega. So once you do that, when you open Pega, this is how it looks like this. Whatever you gave under denote type, that will be coming here. Okay, are you good to try this or any questions? So I want all of you to try this and let me know if you are facing any issues.
Ravi, can you ping it in the chat? Like if any format is there, that way we can copy and paste it.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Thank you.
So I will post this path. and also what you need to do. Okay, just open this path and set -denote type. See, already there are some existing services will be there. Just you need to add comma separated ADM, comma real time, comma RTDG, comma stream, like this. That's it. Don't remove the before whatever is there. Just you add this additionally. That's what you have to do. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
can try this.
Hi,
And
Ravi.
yeah, hi.
Yeah, like in case of multiple nodes, like in the D node type, we need to add extra line and add it. Or how? Like in case of multiple nodes.
Yeah. See, some nodes you don't need to use for decisioning. Some nodes you will use for decisioning. Whichever nodes you use for decisioning, there you have to add it. Whichever you don't use, you don't need to add there. Okay. See, in your production also, some nodes will be used by web user. Web user means the users who open the website, open the application, right? For example, operators, all these
Yeah,
people are
logged
web
in.
users. Yes. Some nodes, they don't need background processing. Directly, you will just keep web user. Some nodes are for background processing only. That means web users will not use that particular node, so there you don't need to keep web user. So same way in multiple nodes also, wherever you want to use decisioning, you need to add this services in denote type. If you don't want to use the decisioning, then no need to add these services. Okay.
ಈಗ DSM అని పెడుతున్నారు.
Sorry, someone is asking. Hello. Okay. If
So,
you are not
so anyhow, this node classifications and all will not be done by us, will be done by the LSAs, right?
yes, yes, yes. See, just for our learning, okay, because why I'm telling you this. See, sometimes you will be working in the Pega decisioning, suddenly you will see some errors. Now, how do you fix that error? You have to fix that yourself, right? LSA might help you or might not help you. So you need to know that these services are needed for some particular purpose. For example, ADM is needed for adaptive model and predictive model to work. RTDG real time, all these are needed for some real time features which are there. DDS is needed for Cassandra. So you are working with Cassandra database, you are getting some error. So you need to know DDS is not working, right? So you need to know that way. So you'll come to Admin Studio, check whether DDS is running or not. The second way how to verify is go to the Admin Studio. So within the Admin Studio, so go to the Dev Studio. Within the Dev Studio, go to the configure, and in the configure you need to go to the, so you need to go to the decisioning and infrastructure services decision data store. Okay, just remember this, I can post in the chat also. Decisioning, decisions, services, infrastructure. Okay, see, first step is you need to verify the nodes whether it is running in the Admin Studio. Okay, whether ADM, DDS, everything is there or not. Second step is you need to go to the configure decisioning decisions, sorry, configure decisioning infrastructure. Okay, configure decisioning infrastructure services. Then you need to see, you see decisioning data store status is normal, ADM status is normal, RTDG status is normal, data flow real time status is normal. So you need to see like this. If at all the status is not normal, it will be something like running, not running, stopped. It will be something like stopped. So stopped means this service is not running. If this service is not running, then you cannot use Cassandra. Okay, some errors, you will be getting some errors like Cassandra, you are not able to insert the data into the database. So you need to come here and see whether DDS is running or not. So how to fix it then? So generally, if you restart the server, it will fix it most of the time, or you can check with your administrator on fixing this particular issue. Okay, most of the times the recommended solution is just restarting this particular node or restarting this particular server. If at all you see the status as error or stopped. But whenever you are facing some issues with the models or all those things, you need to first verify whether this service is running properly or not. Then only you need to go with the next step of debugging. Okay, clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So first thing is check the admin
Ravi,
studio.
can you show the path like configure?
Yeah, I'll configure decisioning infrastructure services. I'll post it here also again. Configure
Actually, in
decisioning.
the community edition, right, you cannot add the denote type using the bat file. So,
Right.
so we'll
That's
be
why do
working
it.
on a single node type, right?
Yeah, do it in the personal edition. Okay, do it in the
I
personal
mean,
edition. Yeah.
personal edition is no not supported, right? I mean, Pega is
No, if you want to test this particular topic, you can do it in personal edition. Only in the
okay.
in the previous version, I mean to say, in the previous version. Okay.
Okay.
Second thing is, if you don't know which all services to enable, directly you can simply say denote type equal to universal. That's it. Okay. Instead of giving all these comma separated values like this, if you want every single Pega service to run on that particular server, you need to simply say denote type equal to universal. That's it. Then all the Pega services will run on that server. Okay, so remember this thing. Okay, so now verification, I told you how to verify. First step of verification is verify from admin studio. Second step of verification is verify from dev studio. Okay, you need to come here and go to the decisioning infrastructure services. Okay, yeah, I think just remember this or store it somewhere. Decisioning infrastructure services. That's what you have to do. And yeah, now coming back to the second next topic, context dictionary. See, like I told you, right, mostly this node classification you will never do. But whenever some errors are coming, whenever some issues are coming, you need to check this path and you need to see whether the service is up or not. Mainly for Cassandra related issues, DDS service. For adaptive model, predictive model issues, ADM service. They should be normal. Okay. Now coming to the next topic, that is context dictionary. Okay, the next topic is context dictionary here. So what is this context dictionary? Let us understand this context dictionary topic. So context dictionary is nothing but what? Let us see. First of all, what is context? In Pega decisioning, context means audience. Okay, in Pega decisioning, context means audience, or you can say targeted audience. See, you are what you are doing here. You are trying to promote some products to the customers, right? Now, which customers? Which customers you want to try? So, for example, I want to promote a laptop product to the customers. When I say customers, they are my existing customers who join my company, you can say. Okay, there can be different type of audience also, like for example, people who are interested to join, right? Can be different type of audience, people who are interested to, or there can be a different type of audience like people who downloaded my mobile application, or there can be another type of audience like people who subscribed to my YouTube channel. So all these are different types of targeted audience. Each type of audience is called as context. Okay, a context is nothing but a targeted audience. Okay, a context is nothing but a targeted audience to whom, okay, targeted audience to whom you promote your products or services. Okay, or you can say to whom the business will promote the products or services. Okay, in this context, there are different types of context here. First one is primary context. Primary context is main targeted audience. See, any business will have some main audience will be there. Main audience are the primary audience to whom you are trying to promote. For example, customers are mostly the primary audience. Our customers are subscribers. Okay, they are the main audience most of the time. We can also have additional audience that is called secondary context. For example, customers is my primary context and secondary context is nothing but secondary audience, you can say secondary targeted audience. For example, like app downloaded users or Facebook followers or leads. That means people who are interested but they did not join. Okay, people who are interested but they did not join. See, depending on the business motive, depending on the business objective, any one of these audience can be primary audience and any one of this audience can be secondary audience. But remember, at a given point of time, there can only be a single primary audience or single primary context. We cannot have more than one primary context at a given point of time. But there can be multiple secondary contexts. Okay. See, context is nothing but the targeted audience. You can have only one main audience and you can have more than one secondary audience. Okay, basically the targeted people or the targeted group to whom you are promoting, that is nothing but the context. Along with primary context and secondary context, we also have the next context called associated context. Okay, now what is associated context? Associated context is the associated data of this audience. For example, let us say we'll take some scenario like this. We'll take example like this. Okay, my primary context is customers. Okay, my primary context is customer. That means existing people who already joined the company, who already subscribed. Those are the primary context. Now, secondary context is leads. For example, leads. Leads means who are interested but did not join. Okay, who are interested but did not join the company. Okay, so then we have the third one, that is associated context, is nothing but the data that is associated with the primary context and secondary context. For example, primary context associated data, associated context can be something like, for example, products purchased by these customers. Okay, products purchased by customers, or for example, it can be loans taken by the customers. Okay, or credit cards of the customers, like this. Same way, associated context for the secondary context can be something like social media channel through which they subscribed or they followed, something like this. Or you can say something like channel through which they joined, something like this. Okay, that is nothing but the associated context. Okay, so total we have primary context, secondary context and associated context. Okay, this is basically about the context dictionary. We will see how to practically implement this. We will be seeing it shortly. Okay, so let me show you that in the application.
Sir, one small question.
Yeah, at least
The context is, you said that customers, right?
not customers, it's the audience. Okay,
Oh,
context is nothing
okay.
but the audience. So it can be
So
anything. It can, uh
okay.
yeah,
So associated context is the products that have basically the products or the channel by which they have been linked with us.
anything that is associated with the context, that is associated context. For example, the customer's
Okay.
information. Okay, customers' products, customers' loans that they have taken, which customer has taken which loan. This kind of data which the customers are holding, that is called as associated context. For example, some customers are having 3 credit cards, one customer is having 1 debit card. So what associated data that this context is having is called as associated context. Okay, if you are
Got it.
confused,
Got it.
you can say like associated data also, not an issue. Okay, yeah, if you are confused, not an issue, that's also fine to call it associated data. Okay, now where do we see
For
this?
each context, we have the associated data.
So, sorry, can you repeat?
So for primary context also we have associated data. For
Right,
secondary context also we have the associated data, right?
right, yes, for every context associated data will be there.
Okay.
Yeah. So why do we need this? First of all, why do we need this context dictionary? See, in Pega decisioning and marketing, you don't actually select or create the audience when you need. You will predefine the audience saying that these are my audience. This is the table where the audience records are there. This is the audience email address. Like that, you have to pre-build the details already. Okay. So let me show you where is that present. So if you go to the App Studio, so if you go to the App Studio, so once you go to the App Studio and if you go to the settings, see all these things again we will be seeing once we create the application. Just for introduction, I'm showing you right now. So go to the App Studio, settings, context dictionary. Okay, go to the App Studio, settings and context dictionary. So this is where you see the context information. So if you see here, I have one primary context and I have two secondary contexts. The primary context is customer, secondary context is account and prospect. Okay, so you can have more than one primary context, but there can only be one primary context. Now, the associated data is these are the ones you can see, right? The associated data. This is the associated data. For customer, there is some associated data like accounts join, clickstream, product scores. All these are the associated data for this primary context. Same way for account also there can be some associated data. So you can see, right? I have add associated data. This is where you add the associated data. Okay. So this is the primary context, secondary context, and the associated data. And when you click on this gear icon, you can actually configure in which table this records are there. Customer records are there in this table. Okay, customer records are there in this table. Okay, so you can also make a secondary context as primary context at any point of time by clicking on this button, change primary, and you can change the context details. You can see I have the change primary and I can select the account as primary and I can apply. That's what I can do. Okay. Anyways, we will see this in detail once we create the application, how to do that.
So prospect is also a context, right? Secondary context.
Sorry, this is not a secondary context. It is actually a by default given context for you. This is not added as secondary context. This is default. Pega will provide you as a additional complementary audience, you can say. Okay, so this is like
So
additional
the
audience. Mhm.
So this prospect can never be a primary context, right?
No, it cannot be. Cannot. So in case if you want prospect to be also, then you have to create a separate context and then you have to make it. Okay, by creating add context, you can create a separate context here. So you have to give like this. Okay, I'll say for example, uh, social media follower single value, plural value, social media followers. Then you give the class where these records are present. Okay, so here I have uban dash cdh dash, just I'm giving existing class for now, uh, data dash customer. Okay, so this is the place where my records are present. Then I just click on the save button. So that's how I do. Now my secondary context will be added like this. Now whenever I want to promote to these people, I will just click on the change primary and I will select this option and I will click on apply. That's what I want. So whichever is the primary context, to that context mainly the marketing products, marketing emails will be going. Okay, when you want to send the emails and everything to secondary context, you have to come here and you have to change the primary to like this, and you have to apply, and then it will go to social media follower. Okay, so all these things, while we are exploring the topics, we will be seeing it. So just like an introduction to this context dictionary.
That class you showed where all the records will be stored, in they're the records of the customer. Like for example, customer one, customer two, like this. That will there it will be stored.
Right, all the customer information. See, like I told you, what is the purpose of creating this context dictionary? The purpose is you will predefine, this is my audience, this is the place where the audience information is there, this is my customer's full name, this is my customer's email address, this is my customer's phone number, the phone number property. So Pega will automatically send, whenever you are saying send an email to the customer, it will automatically send to the this particular property value. Same way, you say you need to send a mobile SMS to the customer's mobile, then you need to the Pega will automatically send the SMS to this particular property's value. Okay, so you don't need to always mention, or you don't need to always hard code or give it anywhere. Just you will mention here, Pega will take the information from this context dictionary. Okay, that is how it is used. You will mention
So we
where the
can see
record. Yeah, we can see that. So let us go to this class.
we can we can say this primary mobile phone is also an account. Sorry, an associated data.
No, 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 no. Associated data is a separate thing. It's a separate class again. Associated data class will be always a separate class. Okay.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So whatever columns are there in this class, all those belong to primary context. So you see, this is my primary context class. And now I am opening the primary context table. So I'm just open with the data designer. Okay. See again, make sure we did not create any application as of now. Just we are seeing the introduction to these things. So whenever we learn that, it will be easy for you to understand. Okay, so it's very big. I think it's taking some time. Yeah. So if you go to the records, you can see all the records of your customer here. So this is a primary context, and this is my primary context table where my primary context records are there. And you are already defining what is the email address column, what is the mobile phone number column. So Pega, whenever it has to send some offers to the customer, it will send to that particular mobile number or that particular email address. So you can see all the records are there right here. You can see we have the primary what you say, primary email. You see this primary email, this is the email address to where Pega will send the emails. You see primary phone number, this is where the Pega will send the SMS. Whenever you are triggering the SMS will go to this phone number. Okay, clear? Any questions from anyone, or understood? Yes, no? Hello?
So only the primary columns will be going to take the precedence, like they can use for the communication.
Yeah, see, whichever primary context is there, mainly this will be taken precedence, but you can also select the secondary audience also. But the main focus, indirectly we are mentioning, main focus should be on this audience. secondary focus should be on this audience. That is what is the purpose here. Okay, but there is nothing like you cannot send. You can still send to secondary audience also. Okay, you can do that, but you are making sure that this is my primary people, these are my secondary people. Okay, these are my secondary people, which is having less importance compared to this.
Okay.
Now coming to the accounts associated data also, for example, I am seeing this accounts join. How do I create a associated data? How do I create a associated data for this customer? For example, if you see the accounts join, if you see this accounts join, this is the associated data, right? You see, we have to create an association in the Pega with accounts join table with the customer table. How do you create association? I think most of you already know. You need to have a common column, right? You need to have a common column. So that is what they have done here. Okay. So just they are creating some common column where customer ID equal to accounts join dot customer ID. In the accounts table and customer table, in both the tables there is a common column that is called customer ID. Using this common column, they have created one association. That's what they have done. Okay, so all these things we will see it. We'll see it and we'll create and see it. Okay, just I'm giving a heads up here. Clear? Understood? Any questions still here? The context dictionary, or let me know. Okay, anyone, whoever is did not understand, let me know. Yeah, so we will continue this context dictionary and application creation tomorrow. So at last, I have created one slide for the differences between 8.7 and 8.8, 23 and 24. Shall we go through now or shall we go through tomorrow? Because already it's just 2 minutes now. What do you suggest, guys?
So now
Tomorrow.
that's something.
Tomorrow, okay. So I'll do one thing. Just I will give a high-level overview, and we will see this in detail in tomorrow. Okay. So before we create a new application, uh, let us understand what is the differences that are made in the latest versions. See, main difference that is there in the latest Pega 23 and Pega 24 are they have added this AI capabilities using Gen AI. They have added this AI capabilities, and you can actually create some stuff using Gen AI itself. Next thing is very important change, very major change. They have added this revision manager and ops manager. See, previously we don't have this ops manager and revision manager, but they have introduced this as part of CDH. In previous versions, this used to be a separate feature, not part of Pega decisioning. Now it is part of Pega. Okay. Then there is also CDH assistant, which will automatically do some tasks for you. That is also added. And there is some new concept that is introduced, which is called click streams. These click streams are not part of Pega decisioning before. So what does this click stream will do is, so what this click stream will do is, whenever, for example, you go to some website, in this website, for example, you are clicking on this button. Okay, you're clicking on this button, then you came down and you clicked on the scenario. Okay, then again you came down and let us say you clicked on some other this particular tab. So all this behavior will be recorded in Pega decisioning. That means a customer who visited the mobile application or a website of the business, which all places did he go and which all buttons he clicked, all this information will be there in the click stream. Okay, that means, for example, I came to this Pegapedian. First I clicked on the login button, then after coming to login button, I clicked on this launch button. So this information will be present in the click stream. That means from where to where the customer has gone, which button the customer has clicked, everything will be recorded in the click stream. So that is a very useful feature which Pega decisioning has added. Because by doing this, you can know, okay, all my customers are clicking on this button, they are not clicking on the other button, so we need to make that other button also good. Like this, complete information will be there in the click stream. Okay, understood? Yes, no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll see in detail all these things, and we'll create our first application tomorrow. So make sure that you join tomorrow also. Just to recap what we have learned today, we have seen before creating the application, we need to set up the environment. As part of setting up the environment, you need to enable all these services. ADM is for adaptive model and predictive model to run. DDS is for Cassandra database, and these three are for real-time operations. Okay. Once you do the node classification by following this procedure, you need to follow this procedure and do the node classification. After you do that, you need to go to the admin studio. You need to go to the admin studio and to the nodes, and you need to see whether whatever you kept in the file are coming here or not. Second thing is you need to go to the dev studio and you need to see in the configure decisioning infrastructure services. You need to see whether it is normal or not. If it is not normal, then you will get some errors. Okay, so all these things you have to do while doing the debugging. So that's what we understood, and also we have seen the context dictionary. A context is nothing but the targeted audience, where you have primary context, main audience, secondary audience, associated context. It's nothing but the data that is associated with this context. That is called as associated context. For example, customers can have some loans, some credit cards, some debit cards. All this information is considered as a associated data. You can say, okay, associated data. Okay, so tomorrow we will continue this, and we will also create our first pega decisioning application. Okay, we'll create our first pega decisioning application. Okay.